How's it going, Chiefs Kingdom? Oh, man. It was you this time. How's it going, Chiefs Kingdom? You're watching the Legion of Zoomcast with myself, Brad Simcox, and one of the superstars of the moment as well, Tom Childs as well. How we doing, mate?
Yeah, good. Oh, thank you.
Yeah?
I wouldn't call myself superstar of the moment, but
Let's
I'll
just
take
say
it, I suppose.
No. I'm gonna say that because you're the one who was on the Legion of Zoom video, who kicked off the whole thing. You know, the whole introduction about the origin of the name. It was almost like you were my kind of inductor into the Hall of Fame kind of thing. You know, the speech at the beginning. Do you know what I mean? What do they call them again? I forgot what they call them. Not an inductor, but like.
I don't know, but I kind of know what you mean.
They do a speech at the beginning, like an introducer.
Yeah.
That was it. It was something like that, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't really know how to respond to that. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not saying I'm in the Hall of Fame yet.
Like, Brad, you're too kind, and I probably had too much airtime in that video compared to you, considering it was your nickname. They obviously decided that they could understand what I was saying more than you on the show.
I was expecting subtitles, I must admit. When I came on, I thought, oh, the subtitles are definitely coming up here. But,
what language is he speaking?
Yeah.
But it was surreal, wasn't it?
Mate, when you sent me that message and it's check it now, check it, it's on. I was like, what? What's he on about? What's he? And yeah, you obviously steered me to the Chiefs YouTube channel. It was like an out of body experience, wasn't
100%.
It? I mean, when I started watching it, I thought, are we even in this? Because it took about 8 or 9 minutes before we actually saw one of us.
Brad,
appear, didn't we?
8 minutes and 7 seconds. I know this. I've watched it about 20 times.
I was trying to make sure that I didn't sound like I watched it a million times. So I'd said 8 or 9 minutes. But yeah, you're right. 8 minutes and 7 seconds. But yeah, watching that, and then us getting the credit for it as well. You know, just telling the story about Miami, which we love talking about that, obviously.
Yeah.
It was just like you said, it was just a surreal moment, really. It was one of those kind of like cherry on the top moments, wasn't it? I mean, I know 100%. a lot of people have been giving us credit for obviously coming up with a name, kicking the name off into the media and stuff like that, but to actually get that recognition from the Chiefs was mind blowing.
It was an honor. Like, to give a little bit of a history to that episode, we recorded that 2 months ago, I think it was.
Good few weeks, wasn't it? Yeah.
They reached out to Pete of Arrowhead Pride, and because they traced the name back to Arrowhead Lines, as I mentioned in the video, and then of course I told them about Brad, and they were really interested in the Arrowheads Abroad story and Miami, hence why I was involved in it, of course. But but we've been sitting on that for 2 months, and the Chiefs, they never told us when they were going to release it. And I was actually involved in like an online games night with my girlfriend and her family on Saturday, and the Chiefs tweeted about 9:30 saying, "Oh, the Legion of Zoom video is coming out at midnight UK time." And I turned around to Amy and I was like, "Babe, we've got to stay up. Like, there's no way now I can go to bed and wait till the morning. I have to watch this tonight." And fair play, she stayed up and watched it with me. And it was just, as you said, an out of body experience. Like, at first, Tyreek Hill or whoever it is sits down, and the next thing you know, Patrick Mahomes is on screen and he's talking about the Legion of Zoom. And I was just thinking, if I'm in this, I'm in the same video as Patrick freaking Mahomes. Like, this is mad. And then obviously it cuts to the computer screen on the desk, and then as soon as I saw that, I thought, right, this is where we're coming in.
Yeah.
And just the way they done it, and the way they edited it and produced it with me and you, and using the photos and like the moving, rolling camera, it was just wonderful. And like, I'll be the first to admit, like, I was immensely proud of myself. And I've had messages from my parents, my sisters, my brother, who showed no interest in the Chiefs whatsoever. It must be said. Like, when I talk about the Chiefs, I think it goes in there and out there. So for them to sit down and watch the whole 16 minutes, because I didn't even tell my dad I was doing this. I literally just sent my dad the video and said, Dad, do us a favor, watch the whole of this. And then next thing you know, I'm just getting messages from all my family saying, oh, how proud we are of you, and like all of that. And I just like, this is mental. Like, it's the whole thing. And like all my friends have watched it. And we've had people in the NFL UK community come up to us and say like how well the Chiefs have done, and to get us involved in something like that, and how the Chiefs should be proud of themselves for getting us involved, and how they almost jealous of the fact that their teams don't have that connection with their international community like the Chiefs do. It's just that the last 12 months with Miami, the Super Bowl, this video, in general, probably the last 7 years, I've been very lucky with what Arrowheads Abroad has enabled me to achieve and do. Okay, I know I've put in a lot of work to it, and I know a lot of other people are putting work in as well. But I know that I've been really lucky with some of the opportunities that have been presented to myself because of it. And I don't take it for granted. And like Saturday was probably like the peak of it all. It was like going to the Super Bowl, obviously it was the main peak, but that was it was just incredible. It really was.
It was, yeah. I think you said it all there, really. I think, like you said, the Chiefs, recognizing fans across the pond, that's a big thing for me, because having that interaction with them, and obviously speaking with Dane, who actually did the interview with us, Dane Van Wy, and just how they went about it was just brilliant. And they've, major credit to the organization for letting us do that as well. I know a lot of the time they like to try and keep it in-house with the players and all that kind of thing, but to make the year, let's say, for two Chiefs fans across the pond in the UK, who, let's say we both kind of devoted our lives to this team, haven't we? You obviously setting up Arrowheads Abroad, and that got some good airtime on there, and it's brilliant. It's it's fantastic that it's the biggest fan account now, isn't it, on Twitter? Fan-led account on Twitter, and that's a credit to the work that you do, to the lads that have taken it on at the moment, who are doing it as well. It's just forever growing now, and it's brilliant to see, and it's nice that the Chiefs recognize that. So it, like I said, brilliant to be us at the minute.
And of course, the flip side of it all is that this show was born out of those recordings, because it was when we recorded those that we started thinking about doing this. And there you go, the Legion of Zoomcast was born out of the Chiefs asking us to do that video for them.
I think that's enough about us now, don't you think?
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
So like we said, the Chiefs took on the Chargers, and it was it was one of those dead rubber games, wasn't it, Tom? The Chiefs resting a lot of their starters. Mahomes on the sideline, Hill, Kelsey, all having a well-earned rest. But we're still going to do the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think we've kind of got an idea what the bad and the ugly are. But let's start with the good, shall we? What do you think was the good thing for this game?
Right, disclaimer. I fell asleep during this game. And it's the first time I've fallen asleep during a Chiefs game since 2012. And like all the primetime games I've stayed up for, I haven't missed a game in God knows how long, but I've never, I hadn't fallen asleep in best part of 8 years. Yeah, Sunday I fell asleep. Not going to lie.
So you had a well-earned rest.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as I said to you, like I was up till gone midnight on Saturday night watching this video. But yeah, it got to 10 o'clock our time, and I watched a bit of the first quarter. I think I saw the touchdown, the first touchdown to Pringle, and then I fell asleep. But I've caught up. I've caught up since, and the good has to be Darwin Thompson. Has to be. Sitting on the sidelines for weeks, if not months, watching Le'Veon Bell come in, watching him get pushed back to the inactive list, and just having to watch Darrell Williams get his opportunity. Obviously, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and he's been sat patiently, and he got his opportunity and he took it. He took it. That's all he can do. Like, he might not be a Chief next year, but at least he had the opportunity to put some film on tape that if the Chiefs do end up releasing him, someone will pick him up. He's not just going to be this late rounder that didn't really get his opportunity and other teams aren't going to take a chance on. Now that there's some film on him, like with him being the main guy, I think teams will take a punt on him. Whether he hangs on in Kansas City, we'll have to wait and see. But fair play to him for taking this opportunity.
I've liked Darwin Thompson for a while.
Barry Allen?
We mentioned, yeah, exactly. We mentioned him about a year ago when we drafted him, and there was comparisons floating around. You know when you get these comparisons, don't you? It looks like, like Barry Sanders, or he looks like Marcus Allen. And we even nicknamed him Barry Allen, didn't we? Because of all these comparisons. And I like him. Obviously, he's a bit on the small side. He looks out of proportion with everybody else, doesn't he? Yeah. Have you seen these pictures recently where they've got Tyreek Hill like a little tiny little player?
Yeah,
stood on the side. That's what I see Darwin Thompson as. He's like this kind of out of proportion player, thinking, how is he a football player?
But he's like that big.
Small.
He's that big, but he's that wide.
Yeah,
like
I mean, have you seen him with his shirt off?
Yeah, he's just all girth.
He's just his legs are big, his arms are big. I think I've seen videos of him doing the squat, with weights on his shoulders and stuff like that. He's a strong kid.
I'm looking forward to seeing you put videos of him across this, like lifting and like with some sensual music of him lifting like shirtless. He's basically like DK Metcalf, just a lot shorter.
Yeah,
like
a lot shorter.
A lot shorter.
He's a lot shorter. Let's not get that wrong. He's a lot shorter.
But I like him. I do like him. Obviously, he's had his moments in Kansas City. I still find it funny that when the Chiefs played the Texans in the AFC Championship game, the fumble on their kickoff return went to his hands, and he just stood there. He just didn't know what to do with the ball.
He did, he got it. He was like,
the end zone, Darwin.
He stood behind him and was going like that. Somebody was like that behind him.
He could have had a playoff touchdown, but he's just like...
Do you know what I think it might have been? He might have been playing touch football or something like that, and maybe he got touched and he thought, that's it.
It did make me laugh. But
they were all like, go on, go for it.
Obviously, he had ball security issues earlier in the season. When we played the Ravens, he fumbled the ball, didn't he? And basically been out of favour since then. But in a meaningless game, he's given some meaningful snaps for him, for sure.
Yeah, he's mentioned that fumble, actually. I think he's not been quite active on Twitter and things, and people were going, where have you been? That kind of thing. And I think he said he was finding himself a little bit. He was kind of digging deep and just thinking, do you know what? I need to just concentrate on my football. When I get my opportunity, I'm going to take it. And he proved that in this game. I mean, the Chargers are a decent team. I mean, yeah, granted, they've finished, bottom of the pile in the AFC West. But... they have got a good roster, a decent roster, and especially the fact that he was playing with the Chiefs second string, and he still shone in that game as well, which I think speaks volumes. So yeah, I think you're right. I think he's done a lot of good for himself. Again, whether he's going to be a Chief or not next year, time will tell. I mean, do the Chiefs keep Le'Veon Bell? Obviously, Damian Williams is one of those that will be coming back. Darrell Williams, he seems to have been getting a bit more favourable attention really over Le'Veon Bell at the minute, which surprised me a bit.
I think it spoke volumes that he wasn't really involved on Sunday.
Yeah.
It spoke volumes for him.
I think he's done a lot of good for himself. So I think that's a really good for the good, bad and the ugly, I think. Let's move on to the bad then.
Can't believe you're doing this after Saturday.
I don't want to do this again.
Can't believe you're doing it.
He's a member of the Legion of Zoom, and I love them so much. Nicole Hardman, with that
third week in a row.
Third week in a row, I know, and I really like the guy. I really do. Just what was he doing there, mate? The ball bounced in front of him.
I assume you're referring to the fumble.
The fumble, yeah, the fumble. Was it a punt return fumble?
Yeah.
It wasn't a kickoff return, was it? No, it was a punt return. But to let it bounce in front of you and then obviously try and gather it up, it's going to cause you problems. And I think he knows that. He knows that. I mean, the look on his face when he was like, "Do you know what? Just get me off this field now." He knows that. He understands that. And I think I'm hoping, I'm praying that we're going to see a kind of bounce back from him in the next game, where he's going to score like 2 or 3 touchdowns or something. Because I have been a little bit harsh on him.
Yeah.
And rightly so, let's say. I have been a little bit harsh on him over the last 2-3 episodes. And I hope he proves me wrong.
2-3 episodes of 4. So you've been harsh on 75% of our episodes.
And he has made the good, the bad, and the ugly quite a few times in that as well. So, please, McCall, just sort it out, please, mate. What do we think is going to be the ugly? Well, it has to be, doesn't it? It has to be Deandre Baker's horrible, horrible injury. Yeah. When he did it, I thought my TV went a bit weird because I was watching on the screen. I thought that leg seems to have like bent out of shape that it shouldn't have done. And then when he suddenly started rolling over and his leg was flopping, I thought, that's that bad. That's really bad. And then they brought the covered cart out. It didn't sound good. But I think recent reports are he's actually in the building. He's in the Chiefs building on crutches, and he's actually putting weight on it already after a surgery.
Yeah. So he broke his femur, which is like outrageous. Like, to break your femur in a non-contact injury is just ridiculous. My dad broke his femur years ago. My dad's a painter and decorator, and he was up a ladder outside a house, and his ladder gave way. 40 years of painting and decorating, and his ladder gave way. So he must have done something wrong. Anyways, his ladder come down. He fell about 20 feet, and he broke his femur. And he was bedridden for weeks, if not months. It was. Yeah. And it was a nasty injury. And side story, I'll never forget, a few months afterwards, Arsenal played Hull City in the FA Cup final. And my dad and I went to the pub to watch the game. And he was fine. Well, not fine, but at this point, he's walking around, okay? So like, he can wear clothes again. He's walking around. He's gone to the pub. Anyways, when Aaron Ramsey scored the winner, I decided to go, Dad! I went running up to him and just completely forgotten about the fact he'd broken his leg a few months before and just jumped on him.
Hey, buddy.
Grabbed him. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4", 6'5". My dad's 5'8". Okay, so
I was going to say, let's put a bit of context on your size, Tom. You're up here on me.
Like me. He's not like me. And I just jumped on him, and I just completely forgot about his leg. And I didn't break his leg. It's not going that bad. But he just kind of like give way and whatnot like that on the floor, and just like I was like, I'm sorry, Dad. Anyway, that's a side story. Whether you decide to put that in the show or not is up to you. Deandre Baker's leg. Do you know when people have pencils and they wobble them up? And
you do that magic trick.
That's what it looks like. You do that. One of those like things that they have at football games, where they have the inflatable things like in like Euro tournaments. Like, Get down on it. Get down on it. That's basically what Deandre Baker's leg looked like. But
it was horrible.
Because I really like the guy and I want him to do well in Kansas City. So hopefully
he was actually in your ones to watch, wasn't he?
He was, just not for that reason.
But not for that reason, clearly.
Your one to watch scores a touchdown. My one to watch breaks his femur.
We shouldn't be laughing, mate. We really shouldn't. It was a horrible injury, but apparently it was a clean break, which helped with the surgery. Yeah, apparently helped with the surgery, and he's up and about in the building now. Apparently, so he might be back next week. Who knows? At this rate,
we shouldn't laugh. No, we shouldn't laugh. We shouldn't laugh. We're bad people.
The amount of bad luck that guy has had.
Yeah.
If he didn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck at all, would he? It's that situation where he gets his chance, and again something crops up, But he looked good. Let's say, give him credit where credit's due. He looked really good. I think he got a sack as well, didn't he? And I thought he looked like he was one of those players that we thought, we've got a good one here, and we've managed to just steal one out of him. But the injury, horrific. But get well soon anyway, Deandre. Right, up next, we've got the uniform cool wall. Okay, so we did another vote on the Legion of Zoomcast Twitter page, and it was a number of teams that had birds as their icon. And you'd be pleased to say it's one of our rivals, our modern day rivals, which is the Baltimore Ravens. Now, we're going to go with 2 uniforms on this. We'll start with their usual attire, let's say. The purple jersey, white pants, black helmet. Tom.
Is it white pants?
Is it white pants or is it black pants? No, it's white pants. I'm sure it's white pants.
Is it black pants? Alexa, let me find out.
Don't, you'll set mine off.
Ravens home uniform. Well prepared here on the Legion of Zoom.
Welcome to intermission.
After 5 minutes of deliberating and looking at pictures on my phone, we're there. We've got the decision. You've got a visitor. Hi.
Tea's ready, right? I'll be down in a minute. Go on, off you go. Come on, I'll hurry up. Go. It's like a zoo in this house. So on this week's Uniform Cool Wall, we're going to be doing the Baltimore Ravens after a vote that we had on the Legion of Zoomcast Twitter page, which was a number of teams that had birds as their logos. So yeah, the Baltimore Ravens are the Uniform Cool Wall. We're going to go with 2 of the uniforms, which is the home uniform, which is the purple and white, which we've just found out is correct. And we're going to go with this horrific version, which I think you're going to know where this is going to be going. But it was a version that we've seen, and we still remember it now, don't we?
Yeah.
It was a purple jersey with this. They say it's gold, these gold pants. But it looks like, you know, that
French
color
mustard.
of, well, yeah, it's that color of the vomit that you get sometimes, isn't it? It just, anyway, let's start with the uniform for the for the home Ravens. Tom, where do you suggest we put the Ravens home uniform in the cool wall?
Well, I don't know, because I really like the top half of it.
Yeah.
The bottom half is good. The top half of it is elite. So if I could put the helmet in a category on its own, it would be going in there because they have the best helmet in the NFL. 100%.
So you want that in Sub-Zero, the helmet?
Yeah. The jersey,
what about the jersey?
Probably Sub-Zero.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Because the black and the black and the purple go, don't they? Yeah.
I really like the black pants. You really like the white pants. I tell you what, let's do it.
To be honest,
I'm not being funny. The Chiefs are going to be beating the Baltimore Ravens in a matter of weeks, and they're going to be potless again. So let's be nice to them. Let's stick them in Sub-Zero.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Even with the white pants?
Yeah, with the white pants.
Because I think I agree with you. I think if they have black pants, definitely it's going in Sub-Zero. But I think the white pants, it doesn't seem to fit with the top half, like you said.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go with Sub-Zero for that. I think it's a good uniform. I like the black and the purple together. The bit of gold trim on it, nice, love it. The logo is really smart as well.
Yeah.
I'll go with that. Okay, so what about the? I don't know. I don't even know the other alternate uniform that we just described. The purple and the
Chiefs fans will remember this is because the last time the Ravens wore it, I think, was against us in 2015. When the Chiefs just went into Baltimore and absolutely destroyed the Ravens. I remember Marcus Peters getting a pick six. I think it was Kevin Colbert was their quarterback that day. You'll also remember this uniform matchup because the Ravens had the worst uniform we've ever seen in the purple shirt, the musty yellow pants and the black socks versus the Chiefs. My favorite, it was a white and white with red socks day that the Chiefs played that day. So you had like the contrast of the best versus the worst. There's only one place for this uniform. It's going in dog doo-doo, 100%.
Yeah.
Like the Ravens helmet can go to its different stratosphere.
It's like opposite ends.
I can go that way. Yeah, it's that way. Not even the helmet of the Baltimore Ravens can save those mustard pants.
No. I agree with you, mate. I think it's straight. I totally agree. Totally agree with that.
You lot will be thinking, but they really like the jersey. They really like the socks. They really like the helmet. Those pants are that bad. They're going into
That's the first thing you look at. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I think we put them total opposite ends of the uniform colour wall. Right, so the Chiefs have earned a nice bye week, and it's going to be, what do they call it now? Super wildcard weekend, is that right?
Super.
So if you put a bit of super in front of it, it makes it wonderful, apparently. So, the Chiefs have got a well-earned rest. Well, another rest, actually, because obviously the starters didn't play, this weekend just gone. So we are going to be looking at the games in the AFC. So we've just spoken about the Ravens. They're going to be taking on the Titans. It's going to be an interesting matchup because obviously both teams have got very similar winning records as well from the season. Ravens, Titans, mate, what are you thinking on this game? Who do you think is going to win this game?
I think Lamar Jackson gets his revenge for last year's playoffs.
Really?
I like the Ravens. I think the Ravens are good. I've been higher on the Ravens than basically everyone else that I speak to all season. A lot of people went down on the Ravens after we destroyed them and they went on that little bad run. For me, they've been, outside of the Bills' late resurgence, they've always been the second best team in the AFC. And the last few weeks, they've beaten up on some bad teams, but they've seemed to have found some form. And like they had their struggles in the middle of the season, they seem to have put them behind them. They're a dangerous, dangerous team. And okay, obviously you need to get to Lamar Jackson to stop him, not for passing, purely for running. But the Titans don't have a pass rush. They simply don't have any form of pass rush. The defense is terrible. Deshaun Watson tore it up on Sunday. To be honest, I don't think this game's going to be close. I really don't. I think it's such a bad matchup for the Titans. No matter what Derrick Henry does, I don't think the Titans are going to be able to stick to the same game plan that got them success last year against Baltimore. I think this game is going to be over by the end of the third quarter.
I'm with you on the Ravens, I think. I think the Ravens have kind of come hot towards the end of the season, which is they're obviously riding on a wave at the minute. I agree with you. Derrick Henry, yes, as devastating as he can be, I don't think it's going to be enough. I think the Ravens defense, I mean, it's still quite a good defense there. So yeah, I think they're keeping quiet. And obviously you mentioned pass rush there from the Titans. I think Lamar Jackson's just going to run riot. And he's probably going to have a chip on his shoulder in this game as well. So that's something.
He's got a lot to prove. There's a lot of people talking about him now with being a playoff bottler. Bottler? Playoff bottler. A bottler of the big games. A bit like Tottenham Hotspur. But yeah, we're sneak that one in there. Ravens all the way.
So going Ravens on that one. Okay, I think we both agree on that one. What about Browns versus the Steelers? This is going to be a good game. This is my highlight game.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a good game. Kevin Stefanski is out with COVID. The Steelers never lose to the Browns in games that mean things. Like, okay, the Browns beat them on Sunday, but the Steelers weren't really trying that hard. They didn't play Ben Roethlisberger. They almost lost to Mason Rudolph. They're like a 2-point conversion away from going to overtime in a win and in game for the Browns. I just don't think this game's going to be close. I think the Steelers have the Browns number. They've always had the Browns number, and I think it will carry on Sunday.
Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a great war. That's the thing. I think this game means a lot now. The last game didn't really, nothing really materialized from it. Really, it was another like dead rubber kind of game, wasn't it? I'm predicting it's going to be one of those battling games. I don't think it's going to be high scoring though.
No, Steelers playoff games aren't high scoring unless they're playing the Jaguars in a really random game on.
Exactly.
But on the greatest Sunday of NFL playoffs history. But yeah, they don't play high-scoring games.
So you're going Steelers with this?
Yes.
I'm going to go Browns with this.
Ooh. Okay.
I know, and I know they've got obviously the COVID issues and that at the moment, but I don't know. I haven't seen the Steelers in a good light this season. I know obviously they went on this unbeaten run, but we kept saying they were frauds. I don't know. I just don't. I think the Browns, they're probably going to be on a high because obviously it's the first playoff since I don't know when bread was invented. I don't know. I think it's going to be one of those. It's going to be one of those games that I think the Browns want to talk about this for a long time. This is their Super Bowl at the moment,
pretty much.
And I think they'll be really up for it.
Yeah.
So I'm going with the Browns on that one. Okay. So what about the now? This is probably what your big game's going to be, isn't it? The Colts at the Bills.
Yeah, this matchup is great. It's such a good matchup. The Bills have been unstoppable the last month. The Colts can't decide whether they're good or not. But when they're good, they are good. And if we get a good Colts performance, we're going to have a hell of a game here. Do you remember when the Chiefs went into Buffalo early this year and just ran all over Buffalo? The Colts might do the same. They just might. And they might have enough on defense to live and cope with Josh Allen. They just might. Josh Allen's been the best quarterback in football for the last month, by the way. 100%. He's not the MVP, but in December, he's definitely been the best quarterback in football. Yeah. But the Colts have got some decent players on that defense. And I think, I'm putting it out there, that we're going to know who the Chiefs are playing early on Saturday. I think the Colts might do it.
Really?
Yeah. If it was in Buffalo and there was a full stadium, I'd think different. But I think the Colts might be coming to Arrowhead for the second time in 3 years for the divisional round.
No, that's a surprise, mate.
Yeah,
You're thinking the Colts are going to beat the Bills?
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor's running like a madman possessed at the moment. I just like the thought of Phillip Rivers coming into Arrowhead and him just fumbling his like little mind. Justin Houston coming back. There's no logical reason really for me to pick the Colts. I just fancy it, and there's something I've been thinking about for a couple of days, and I've just decided that's what I'm going to go with.
You've got some logic there of take the ball out of Phillip Rivers' hands.
Pretty much.
And you'll win the game.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm going with the Bills on that one. I'm going with the safe bet there. I think Josh Allen, when he's on it, he's on it. And obviously when you've got Diggs, Diggs is one of those players that I've had him in fantasy league, I think 2 fantasy leagues this year. And he has been the solid. He's been the talisman that I've always wanted on the roster. I think he's been brilliant. And if you pair him up with, have they got John Ross back as well?
I don't know.
Did he come back? Was it John Ross?
Do you mean John Brown?
John Brown, that's the one. That's the one. I knew it was one of those.
Not John Ross, the player that was taken by Cincinnati 1 pick before we took Patrick Mahomes.
The Tyreek Hill 2.0. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I was getting them mixed up. Yeah, so John Brown, sorry. I think he's come back at the right time for them. So I think I'm going with the Bills on this one, I think.
So you've got the Browns coming to Arrowhead next week, and I've got the Colts coming to Arrowhead next week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Baker Mayfield versus Patrick Mahomes.
So between us, we've gone for an underdog in every single game, which means it's more than likely going to just stick to seeding, and the Tennessee Titans are coming into Arrowhead next week.
I don't want to play the Titans again. I think that's the main thing. I don't want to play the Titans again. I know we dealt with them last time, but I don't know. Something about Derrick Henry frightens me.
I just don't want to play the same team again. Yeah. If we can avoid any teams, it would be Baltimore and Buffalo. And I think if we get through, if the Colts beat the Bills, then you're destined for a Chiefs-Steelers AFC Championship game, because I think the Steelers will beat the Ravens as well. So I would be well up for that. I'm not going to lie. I would really fancy the Chiefs playing the Steelers.
Yeah.
Not so much against the Ravens again or the Bills.
Well, we'll see what happens.
The real season starts now.
Yeah, exactly. It is the exciting part now, isn't it? We're all looking forward. I mean, we can again sit back and just watch and enjoy these games literally all weekend. It's going to be fantastic. And there's like we said before, there's some mouthwatering matchups there for different reasons, quality of football, or if there's one that's going to be a war zone. I think it's going to be interesting either way. But whoever we take on, I'm sure the Chiefs will mop them up. Anyway, mate, I think that's it. And I think my tea's ready. Is it dinner or tea?
It's dinner.
It's another argument for another week. But if you've if you haven't seen the Legion of Zoom video from the Chiefs YouTube channel, I might actually put a link at the bottom of this video actually, and so you can all see it in all its glory. If you skip to 8 minutes 7 seconds, that's when the magic happens.
Let's wrap this up and go for dinner somewhere.
I want to go for my tea now. Dinner, tea. Yeah. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Bye.